Good morning, good day, good afternoon, wherever you are in the world. Greetings. This is Mary Hasworth Fernandez, your host of Leadership, Legacies, and Legends podcast on Unleash. Leadership, Legacies, and Legends Unleashed, the podcast. Well, I'm so excited to be here. I have missed you. I have missed being here. And I just want to jump right into our topic for today. I pray that the topics and the guests are inspiring to you, inspiring hope, encouragement, empowerment, decision making, and actions. Today's topic is all about how you can rise above stuck, stopped, or stalled while you still have time. And sometimes we just don't know what that looks like. So, as we dive right in, I want to think about step number one. Where do you see yourself? From the eyes of others, they see something totally different than we see. And we never know until you have a chance to engage in conversations or in fun moments of reflection. I had the opportunity to do that at my 71st birthday. And we were talking about funny memories of me that my guests had. And listening to some of their perspectives was really beautiful, encouraging, empowering, things that I had never seen through my eyes as I lived it, but that's what they saw through their eyes. But here it is, all these years later, I had these wonderful people celebrating with me at my birthday. And it was really expanding of my mind. So, how do you see yourself? Do you see yourself as happy? Don't need anything, don't want anything. Everything is fine just as it is. Don't want to make no changes, don't want to add anything or take away anything. Well, this conversation might not be for you because I have ran into people who are very happy just like they are. They're excited. And I mean, the first time I ran into someone who was just happy and content as they were, they said to me that, yeah, I'm happy just like I am. I want to sit on my rocking chair in this house where I grew up, and this is where I want to live, and this is where I want to die. And I said, that is a whoa, different perspective. But I could not judge them for their thoughts or their mindset. But sometimes certain things are not for individuals where they are in their lives or their mindset. When you set something so that it can, like I set a table, it is set, ready for the guests. When you set something, it is set. So I tell you why. It's like that parked car concept that people have. So let's move on. What does stuck, stop, or stalled look like? So what does stuck look like to you? Is that holding on to old ways, old thoughts, old memories, and operating from that point? That's almost like a glue tying us to our past. What about frozen? Have you ever been frozen where you're not making any decisions to the left or to the right? What about can't or won't move beyond a certain point in our minds, mentally, physically, socially? So let's talk about mentally. That mental stuck sometimes need professional help because we are rewinding, reliving, replaying, or maybe even that's a haunting something in our mind while we're performing at top notch social standards. We're performing at their levels of, wow, she's so successful, or wow, he's so successful, or wow, they got it going on. But inside their head, they may have a few other thoughts going on, replaying things that are keeping them stuck, maybe mentally. What about physically? Have you ever had this point where you were working on your health and you weren't feeling like you were making progress or moving forward? Or maybe you had a weight loss goal or a weight gain goal, and you found yourself with everything you were doing, it just wasn't working. So what do we do? Do we settle, or do we first start with our doctors and go get checked out and then go at that goal? Socially, a lot of people have been burnt, they have been betrayed, they have had bad experiences, they have been excluded, They have just some things that have caused them pain. So socially, they don't want to move forward. Socially, they don't want to add any new friends or any new experiences because they have had enough. I'm going to make it on my own. The way I'm doing it, it works just fine. But that pain can sometimes give us limitations if we don't move beyond where we are or how we think, especially if we sincerely want to. That's the beginning of the beginning. You have to want to. But if you find just like you are, don't want to make any changes, I know myself, I've been there where, the pain and the frustration was enough to make you just focus on one thing and just work on that one thing. Like the many, many, many years of bringing up my twins. My twins were a dominating part of my mind and my life because my whole life was wrapped around making sure they were okay, that they got to live a good life. And I found myself stuck in that mindset. And it was many, many years later, and these girls were all grown adults living their lives. And then I made the shift. I made the shift to look at where I was right now, blessed and highly favored, not only with successful adult twins, but two beautiful children and one adopted. I found the joy of my whole life, not just the mama bear stuck trying to protect and make it on my own. I found I wasn't on my own. I had a loving family, a loving husband, beautiful children that were on their way. And so now I have released that mindset to allow these adults to be who they are and continue to appreciate who they are and where they are. And thank God that we got this far. So I was really stuck. I mean, you couldn't even talk to me, I guess, with a whole sentence without hearing the words twins. You probably, people were shocked to even know I had 5 children, but I love every single one of my children, every single one of my grands, but they are grown. All of them are adults now. And the grands are maybe are babies. Some are still not babies, but they're young, teens and heading to adulthood. So what can I do to impact their lives? I know it starts with you, me. Be the best you can be so that when you get older, when you move along life, they won't have to come provide for you or make a way for you. They can come enjoy you and you can enjoy them. That could almost be like expanding beyond that season in your life. Are you ready to rise above? Stuck, stopped, or stalled? Just some thoughts, just a conversation. So let's move on. Imagine being excited about something you want to do in your life. I have met clients and I have experienced this, and I know I personally have, but let's take an outside look in. I get excited when I meet clients from all ages. In my senior client base, I find that this happens pretty often as it happens to the young adults. So it's just all in how you see it and how you handle it. Watch this. Senior citizen, top in her class, top in her whole class. In fact, almost tops in this. Well, I guess you have to measure it by the class. Tops in her class, expert, just knocking it out, dealing with the challenge of those around her saying, well, you're old. Why are you doing this? What does old mean? Oh my goodness. Are they negating wisdom, experience, input that can be given to the next generation? Are they devaluing the fact that now that you're older and wiser? It doesn't seem to um, translate in my mind that age is a stopping point. Maybe add in some age and some health issues and some situations. It may be a redirecting point, but not a stopping point unless we take in some of the negative input that's coming our way. So, launching off onto a dream goal, wanting to shift and be more self-sufficient instead of dependent on the 9 to 5. And I do bless 9 to 5s. Those are good experiences. Jobs, careers, these things are good experiences. So I don't knock the job. I remember my first job. I bought my first coat with it, and I felt so powerful and independent. So everything we do can be a learning curve, a learning experience. So that scripture, don't despise small beginnings. These are launching pads. So let's go back to the senior. All right, she's passionately moving toward her goal, diligently moving toward her goal, even on board's a coach or a mentor. And then from the left and from the right, life hits, situations hit, things that take them off course, almost seeming like unbelievable that this would happen now. But I tell you, those things that come against us, those, those are the times we need to um, reach up, rise above that, and reach up to someone who can give you the wisdom, the information, the encouragement, the support, the strategies, just to keep going and rise above that situation that seems to be drowning us. You know what I mean? So when life happens and you have to deal with those situations, how do you keep going? How do you not get stuck? Because sometimes we can put aside our dream, put aside our goal, and next thing you know, it's months later, it's years later. Our minds have changed a little, our health has changed, our surroundings have changed. We may be questioning the fire inside of us that drives us to want to do the things we do. So how do you revisit that dream? How do you turn up the heat? How do you get back on track with your life, with your goals, with your dreams? Because we want to look at the fact that life is a beautiful gift. Every day is a blessing. Tomorrow is promised to no one. So how are we going to do what we need to do to move forward? I want to give you a couple of my thoughts and my tips. Not a licensed psychologist, doctor, or anything. These are just my thoughts to empower, enrich, and encourage my listeners, my fans, and my clients. So let's say that scripture. When I was a child, I thought as a child, I even, basically saying when I was a child, I really thought within the limitations of a child. It's almost like when you were new at something, we reverted back to being square one. But when we grow up, when we embrace our present, when we look around and see where we are and analyze what we're working with, then we can rise. We can choose to rise. Personally, here's a little personal story. I don't know if many of you have experienced this. While I was growing up, that childhood days where you're just cold 100% dependent on the rules and the upbringing of your mother and your father and mom and dad. And they're doing such a good job, but you're the child and you're waving through and you're enjoying your life. You're feeling as safe as you possibly can. They do everything in their power to keep you safe, but they cannot be present at every moment. So many of you have experienced bad things in spite of all the good your parents did. So I remember in my teens being extremely joyful, creative, but wanting more. I wanted to, go beyond my limitations, which are family rules, and I wanted to grow up. I wanted to get out there. But I became very angry at my mom. I remember being very angry. And I remember in my late teens when you want to leave the nest and you want to fly out into the world. And so I remember being angry. And I think I was angry about this or about that. And, to this day, I don't care what it was. I just thank God that he turned me around and let me grow past my teen years. So I remember being able to partner with one of my older sisters and complain about my mom. Oh, mom this, mom that. Oh, mom this, mom that. But we loved her, but we were mentally immature. I think mentally immature. But I don't even care what it was that was holding me in that stuck mindset. I grew up. I mentally and emotionally grew up. I matured. Why did I mature? Was it from the lessons in my faith? Was it from the good people in my love circle? Was it for the constant love that my parents never stopped giving? I replaced immaturity with maturity so that I could look at my blessings and thank God for saving me, for providing for me. And he used those wonderful parents that I had doing the best that they could to get me on my feet and launched me out that nest. getting out the nest is not an easy process, but some of us never forget any little sting of the, like the eagle with the little eaglets in the nest. They never forgot any of the thorns or any of the feathers. They don't remember the feathers of the nest, but they remember the thorns of the nest. So I began to shift my mind, decided to really embrace life and all the joys of life and grow past the immaturity to the maturity days. And I began to just love, love, love my parents, love, love, love on them, look at them with just awe and amazement and maturity. Some say, oh, but you were mad at mom. You were mad. But you have to let those who keep saying that old record in your head, because they maybe haven't grown past where they needed to grow past. And we all grow at our own pace. So we're not judging one another. We're not complaining about one another. We're looking at our personal growth journey where we decided to rise above. And this example is just a little transparency of my immature days. Okay. So I began to see them differently, and I began to see and feel for them. I began to think of the experiences they had been through in their life to even get to where they are. I remember looking at their accomplishments and how they were making changes in the world and helping everyone they possibly could. I remember my baby sister saying she remembers 19 of us sitting at the Thanksgiving or Christmas table. And that puts you back in the love circle of all those wonderful, passionate, good times above the times where you're mad because you can't go here, you're mad because you can't go there, you're mad because they weren't there to save you from a bad experience that happened to you. Wow, what happened to them? What happened to our parents on their journey? So, my mom got her last degree at age 70, college degree. That's amazing. So I decided to love, love, love. Love is a healing balm. Love is such a place of reverence that gives you so much power, and it opens up your mind. I just love my parents to the moon and back. I love them to the moon and back. Forgiveness, gratitude, love. All these things empower you to free up that mind space so that more can be poured in. What is it that you want to achieve? What is it? Where is it that you're going? Are you perfect? No, we're not perfect. Are you pure? We were saved by the blood of Jesus. And there's so many things in our lives that we would not want to share because we're too busy looking at the faults of others, or we're receiving the feed of your faults, and therefore do you crumble, do you disappear, do you just stay in a zone that is not healthy, or do you rise above to your calling, to the things that you are to do in your lifetime? You can look at the men and women in the Bible, all they had to overcome. This is in the maturity years where you can expand your mind, expand your input. So thoughts of joy and good replaced all that foolishness. I call it foolishness now because I'm older and I'm talking about me. I can call my foolish behaviors what it was. I rose above and I did it at whatever age I did it. God and his input, church, and the wisdom of the word, just wonderful, wonderful input, input, input. And the best of my life just began to be the gratitude zone, the thing you can run back to and thank God for the fact that you got a hand. There was a time I couldn't even lift my arm. There was a time I couldn't even get out of bed without so much pain. 20, 30. One time it was an hour and a half trying to get out the bed. So think on whatever things are good and kind and of a good report. Take it to the cross, whatever is on your burdening your heart or weighing you down or keeping you stuck or stalled or completely stopped. Take it to the cross and leave it there. Okay. My thoughts, just sharing, just talking. All right. So you may want a different life, or you may want the same. You may choose to get up and go. So how do you rise above things? How do you rise above situations? How do you rise above bad experiences? How do you rise above limitations? Limitations can come from the weight of words and things that have been spoken or experienced in our lives. But God said, hey, and I can't help but reference God because I'm a child of the King. I love the Lord. That's my source of power. That's a part of who I am. So not to pull you where you don't want to go, but just to share a piece of me. Is that okay? I thank you so much for listening. And I thank you so much for your respect because we all have opinions and thoughts and they may differ, but we all are so much alike in so many ways. So let's embrace the good. So we know that tomorrow is not promised to anyone. So the now, the now time that you have is the time to invest in your pivots and in your decision making and in the choices that will take you to where you want to go. So it's time to connect to your purpose. This is one of the tips for rising above while you still have time. Connect to your purpose. That's going to take some time. I do customized workshops and one-on-one and group sessions so that we can really examine these things and pick them apart. And definitely, I feed from the table of powerful people that are where I never imagined. I guess I never really imagined I could be, but they're there and they're going beyond. So how do we rise above our limited thoughts, our limited access to things and possibilities? We increase by eating from the table of endless possibilities. And we can do that by examining ourselves and really looking at who we are and where we want to be. And definitely we can't think about all of that without where we came from. So we never forget where we came from. Not that we want to be stuck, but we want to move beyond our limitations, beyond the things that may have derailed us, that took months or years of our mind's time, of our health. Okay. So prosperity can be measured in happiness, in joy. Some just look at material things, but that's fun because, you can be miserable poor, you can be miserable very well off. So it's how you look at it. It's, I've always been so content at the littlest things. And I love being the backup singer to a lot of people, but I now know I must fix that so that I am not stuck, that I am not stalled, and I am not, stopped. Okay. Why? Because God has a call on our lives. All right. So, how will you live your life? What will you do? This is how I am answering that question for you and for myself. My joy definitely is fueled by helping others, creating events. The ideal job would be to be able to help impact a lot of lives because I got the time. I got the time, but I want that dream job. What I want that dream job? Accountability, income, and adapting to the surroundings. So what I create in a dream job, they would go just fine in my life. You say, oh, you don't mind working for someone else? Accountability. I volunteered to the moon and back all my life for others. So I'm older now. I must consider how and what until, you see what I mean? How I'm going to live my days, how I'm going to show up for my family, how I'm going to bless my family. And until all the breath in me is gone, I'm going to strive to be the best me I can possibly be. All right. So my joy comes from helping others. So that is one of the keys to how I am answering that question. I like impacting the world and making a difference. So making a difference is a good feeling that a lot of us love. Like when you do something, you want to have value in what you do. So I want to give you value in my talks and my conversations and my monologues and in my guests that I bring forth. So how do I do that? I get to have priorities. I choose to use my priorities. My priorities are my faith first, because nothing before God, my family second. He gave me my family and my career third. That comes from my pink world that I've been a part of almost 40 years. So that allows me to live my life out with joy passion, and purpose. Now, number two, I create the job that can keep me moving forward in that lane. It allows me, this career I have as a podcaster, branding consultant, professional strategist, speaker, all these things are really like entering this door of a mall, because some cannot understand, well, what do you do? Well, what does a doctor do? You come in the office and you tell him what the issues are. He analyzes, then he strategizes, and then he goes with a plan of action. That's basically what all of us do in our careers when we have the freedom and the flexibility to make those kind of choices. So this career allows me to touch a lot of lives with the overflow of my joy, because it fuels my joy to successfully impact those lives, and it makes me feel I am on assignment. Now, as we get ready to close out this conversation, how to rise above, stopped or stalled while you still have time, it starts with, what are you doing? So what I'm doing is I am gearing up for the giving season of the year. And that starts with, our teachers going back to school, our everyday sheroes showing up, order and discipline in the world through their positions. I mean, so much love and support comes from those unsung heroes. In fact, that's where Leadership Legacies and Legends Unleashed podcast came from, knowing that there's so many great people that the world would just love to know. I mean, there's someone who will be blessed by what you do and what you bring to the table. So I've launched Christmas in July. This is part of my blueprint of helping not only others get involved with making a difference, but giving them an opportunity to make a difference and giving them a strategy to start now. So this is a way that you can jump in a little bit, put your feet in the water, or jump all the way in, because the rewards are things like the big celebration on the podcast, the top givers and their sponsorships and their ads and their promotions of their business. Some just want to do that, but what they offer can really amaze you. Okay. So my giving project is called 3LU's Giving Goal of 500 care packages or care gifts. And our goal to give 500 care gifts away will involve all the supporters of that want to be a part of this. You can help us by just purchasing or donating or gifting gifts of 20. That's how we're going to start. Gifts of 20. We're going to stack it full of contributions from our companies, and every part that you play, everything that you do, you will get recognition and appreciation. Our top supporters will get top one of a kind sponsorship billing on the podcast, and also on the celebration and the paperwork and things that go out. So the 3LU giving goal of 500 care gifts, that's in the works. The links will be below in the bottom. You may want to play a little role, or you may want to play a big role, but we are going to have a fun time giving these gifts away. So many people just need a little recognition, a little love, and a little good job. Just something to say you're appreciated. We see you. The second one, oh, that's the dream team. So join the dream team of a 3LU giving goal for 2022. The next big thing we're doing is, I've seen some people that have touched my life on social media. They have impressed me with their quests and their journey and their business development. They provide services for people from all walks of life, from the little ones who need daycare and the moms who need affordable daycare, to a resort type environment where those who have no financial concerns can come and celebrate and enjoy life with their families and then get back to work. So that's called the Biz Swag Awards. I am so excited about that. These blueprints are like downloads from heaven. I get downloads all the time, and many of you know what I'm talking about. It's like, how can I make a difference, God? How can I make a difference and make a living, Lord? So these two things are going to be so exciting. We're showcasing amazing guests. I have some amazing individuals I have met along the way, and I want to give them an opportunity to be in front of my audience and the social media world, because what they bring to the table has blessed me. And I know there's someone out there that they can bless as well. Just by seeing them, hearing them, and connecting with them. Authors, speakers, I mean, ministers. 3LU says we're looking for that unsung hero from the pulpit to the community, because sometimes it's a parent, sometimes it's a teacher, sometimes it's a dynamic speaker who speaks power and life into your life. So I will know how we're doing by your responses to the link, and I will keep you posted. Remember, you can be a help to the station. If you find value in this program, you can like, download, and subscribe. As our numbers go up, we get more opportunities to do more. As our programs and things that we do to impact the world grows, we want to make sure that the dream team of 3LU, which is our short name for Leadership Legacies and Legends, 3LU podcast, we want to make sure that we can give your hands something to do in this community and give your heart a little bit of joy. So the last thing I want to say is my prayer is that you rise above, stuck, stopped, or stalled while you still have time. Age is just a number. Look at all the young adults that are living out their dreams with the mentors and the coaches at early ages, because information, wisdom, knowledge, and mentorship. Look at me. I'm here, and I'm happy to be here because of the same input, wisdom, knowledge, and encouragement of others, coaches, and mentors that have blessed me. So I thank you for listening. I thank you for tuning in. This is Mary Haswood Fernandez, your host of Leadership, Legacies, and Legends, launching the Christmas in July strategic programs to give you an opportunity to be a part of touching a life or many lives with the different programs that we have put in place. Remember to download, like, and subscribe. We're on a mission to just touch a life, change a life. Thank you so much. I appreciate your time. I appreciate you. Enjoy your day, enjoy your evening, and rise above while you still have time. God bless you. Bye-bye.